So I hear people say it all the time. I'm just logical. If it doesn't make sense, I can't go for it. And that sounds smart, but let me say this clearly. Logic is not truth. Logic is a tool, and tools can be used and misused. Because if we're being honest, nothing meaningful in your life started logically. Your dreams didn't, your calling didn't, your purpose didn't. They showed up before the math worked, before the resources existed, before anyone believed in you. And that is where logic gets dangerous because the enemy doesn't always lie to you. Sometimes he just sounds reasonable. He says, wait until it makes sense. Wait for the right time. Be realistic. Don't risk that. God wouldn't ask you to do something that doesn't add up. But miracles, by definition, do not follow logic. If they did, we wouldn't call them miracles. Life itself is illogical. You're standing on a floating rock spinning through space at this moment in history, thinking thoughts, breathing air, and we call that normal. It's a miracle we've just gotten used to. Now look at the world around us. Two people can look at the same exact thing and walk away with totally different conclusions, different reactions, different beliefs, different sides. Science tells us our brains work differently. We notice different things, we process differently. So when we pick a side, it starts to feel like who we are. And once we've argued for that side long enough, we feel married to it. Even when new truth shows up, we're searched for any small piece of logic to protect what we already believe. And I think that's a big reason the world is so divided today. That's also why I felt like I needed to get closer to God. Not to win arguments, not to prove I'm right, but to ask a bigger question. How can I make the world better? How can I impact people in a way that actually matters? Because when I zoom out, I realize this whole thing, life, purpose, history, was written with a mind far greater than mine. And the 2 Corinthians 5:7 says we walk by faith, not by sight. That means we don't move only by what we understand. Everything you've ever created, every breakthrough, every answered calling started as something only you could see. When it lived only in your mind, people called it unrealistic. When you moved in faith, they called it risky. And once it became real, they called it logical. Logic didn't create the vision, faith did. Logic didn't birth the miracle, obedience did. Logic has a place, but it is a servant, not a master. When logic sits on the throne, God gets pushed out. And when God gets pushed out, life shrinks down to what you can explain. But faith does something different. Faith keeps you humble. Faith lets you admit you might be wrong. Faith helps you soften instead of harden. And honestly, with the way the world looks right now, we don't just need better logic. We don't need stronger opinions. We need a miracle. So maybe the real question isn't, does this make sense? Maybe it's this: did God say it? And if he did, move on it. Food for thought. Peace.